So this is a chart of Federalists and Anti-Federalists. This is a good quick way to get through this and move on. But this was a major debate on whether we're going to pass the Constitution or not. And keep in mind, this is literally changing a government. So, this is unusual that we'd have one voted in. But both sides, Anti-Federalists and Federalists, agree on popular sovereignty. That's the will of the people. Remember, people have power. They both want an outlined or a written form of government. They both want a Republican form of government, not like a party, but a Republican form of government being a representative democracy. So they both knew that a direct democracy, you couldn't do it, but they wanted a representative democracy. And both of them did not want a tyranny, which is what they had to fight against in the 1760s and 1770s. So let's look at the Federalists. The Federalists, they favor ratification of the Constitution. Most of these people who are really pushing this in the early days were present at the Constitutional Convention, and they helped craft this thing. They both the Federalists favored a powerful federal government. And the reason is because, once again, a lot of these guys were experienced with the Articles of Confederation and had served under it, and they saw that there were a lot of power gaps and the government just didn't work as effectively, so they worked to correct these things. Remember, federal government, power is shared. It's split, so it's not all in one person's hands. They argued that a Bill of Rights was not needed, as federal power was limited. If you go and look at your first three articles of the Constitution, you do see limits to every one of their powers. However, the Anti-Federalists said, we want those things spelled out in a Bill of Rights. So the Federalist Papers, these were written by Federalists who were at the convention, and some of them were not, but the most notable would be Benjamin Franklin and Alexander Hamilton. So, Anti-Federalists, they opposed the Constitution. They wanted a weak federal government, one that would not threaten states' rights, one that basically the states would have more power, kind of like the Articles. So they did not like this idea of the states submitting to a national government. They demanded, it says they wanted, but they demanded a Bill of Rights to declare and protect the rights of citizens. And they wanted them spelled out, what you can and cannot do, because they said that, of course, yes, even though the federal government has limits to its power, it will abuse them. So keep in mind, North Carolina was one of these states that said, no, you got to go back and write a Bill of Rights. We actually voted against the federal Constitution the first time. We think we are the 12th state to sign it in 1790. So as you see, that we had to make sure those Bill of Rights were in there. Ratification process, basically, what happens is the Federalists promised a Bill of Rights. The ratification basically will become successful in 1789. James Madison, the guy who wrote the Constitution, he's going to write the 10 Amendments to the Constitution. They become the Bill of Rights. He actually writes 12, and he pulls them from the Virginia Constitution, which him and Thomas Jefferson had written over 80 Bills of Rights, or what we'd consider Bills of Rights, but listing out liberties. So he submitted 12, and 10 were ratified. Guys, this whole thing, it's real quick here, but this was a major struggle in the early days of our democracy. And a lot of these questions that the Federalists and Anti-Federalists have, and they debate, going to carry through in the Washington administration with Jefferson and Hamilton. And a lot of these issues we still debate to this very day. So let's look here. Next slide. Get it here. So here are some Federalists and Anti-Federalists. As you see, Alexander Hamilton would be a Federalist, James Madison's a Federalist, John Adams is a Federalist, Charles Pinckney and Benjamin Franklin. These are all Federalist people who want to pass the federal Constitution. Some Anti-Federalists, George Mason, Patrick Henry, John Hancock, Samuel Adams, George Clinton, and Richard Henry Lee. If you notice up here, you do not see Thomas Jefferson's name anywhere because he is a Federalist. He wants the Constitution passed, but he is going to be very much a strict interpretation of the Constitution. In other words, if it's not written in there, we can't do it. So he was a very conservative constitutionalist. But anyway, if you can play this Federalist Anti-Federalist game, it's on my webpage under links. Take a picture and show me the certification screen at the end. We'll talk about this at a later date. Thank you. Bye.